All right, Arc Raiders is heading towards 2026, and this feels like a make or break moment. The foundation is there, the world, the vibe, the comeback, but the future depends on what devs do next. Players aren't just asking for tweaks, they're dreaming bigger. More reason to explore, more ways to play, in the game that respects both solo and squad players. Because if Arc Raiders evolves the right way, 2026 could be the year it really takes off. So let's talk about our hopes, dreams, and expectations for Arc Raiders' future.
Are you not entertained?
I'm gonna throw out a few suggestions now. This is semi combined what I want and what I've seen online. Now, people, this is just suggestions. I'm not telling the devs to do this. I'm not demanding they do anything because as of Arc Raiders today, how it is today, I have so much fun with the game. So I'm not demanding anything, but I'm just like, maybe they can tweak something here, tweak something there, that could really improve the quality of life that new players and veteran players could experience in Arc Raiders. I just want to make that PSA because anytime you ask about changing some things, Arc Raider players lose their fucking minds. Now, suggestions. Just keep that in mind as I name these off. There are 5 of them. They're just suggestions, okay? Suggestion 1. Like I said, this is kind of, I saw somebody make a video of this and I was like, yeah, that would be nice. Suggestion 1. Have a safe pocket for one weapon. I can already hear the keyboard working in the comments. Now you have different augments that you have safe pocket. You have one safe pocket or 2 safe pockets, but you can't put weapons in them. Now the reason why I'm suggesting this is because people like myself, I have experienced this. When I load into a session, 9 out of 10, I'm on a free loadout. I don't bring my shit into the game. Now people can say, hey, the ability of losing your weapon is a lot of the experience. And I'm not saying that's not the case, but so many people have gear fear. They don't bring their best weapons into the match. So you're not getting people's best weapons from the jump. This suggestion would pretty much safeguard people to actually use the good weapons they have in stash. Listen, I have a number of blue weapons, and you can say that ain't shit. Listen, I don't even have my workbench all the way upgraded, so there's some blue weapons I can't even craft at this point. Therefore, I don't take them in the game, and I have fear of taking them in the game because I matchmake a lot. I get in a matchmake, I could die instantly loading in the game and my shit's gone, and I have no way to craft it or get in the back until I get the blueprint or upgrade my bench. Listen, I think that is a thing that could really meet people in the middle because you're already having so many people with loot fear, especially to their weapons, and they just sit in your stash for a long period of time until you gain the possibility of crafting them. And I'm not saying every player is like this, but I'm saying more than 9 out of 10, most players don't go into the game with their best shit until they have the ability to craft it. So you're not getting people's best weapons PvP them. So I think having a safe pocket for one weapon, and I'm not saying you shouldn't sacrifice. Maybe they can make that augment very, very limited in the amount of weight. And so that can be something that bridges the gap. The devs can do something using that augment very, very limiting. Just like they do with free loadouts. Free loadouts, you can only pick up so much shit. I think if you don't have any skill things, weight unlock, you can only get 35 pounds of weight. And that's why you load in free loadouts with one weapon, because you don't have that much weight to work with. So I think a safe pocket for one weapon is kind of a nice thing. I do agree with it. Listen, because I'm just one of those people. I do have loot fear. That's why I load in with so many free loadouts. That's why I don't take my best weapons that I have because of losing. I have fear of losing. And I think this could kind of make people actually use their best weapons, therefore improving PvP. Because when everybody's using their best shit, PvP now becomes even more. And, I think in the end, it could improve, but it's just a suggestion. That's suggestion number 1. Suggestion number 2, when you are down, you still have the ability to shoot. All right, listen, calm down. I can already hear the keyboards working. This is not a Call of Duty game. Me and my cousin have ran into this. When it's a squad versus a squad, for whatever reason, when you are downed, most you can do is like highlight the enemy, which I'm not saying isn't a good thing. But I think if you have the ability to also be downed and also shoot, I think that kind of would improve PvP too. Because just because you're down, you ain't out. You can still motherfucking have some. You can drag somebody with you, and y'all both can be looking like, oh, we both about to lose our shit. We fucked around. You won the PvP. I think that could be an interesting element. Like I said, especially when it's squad versus squad. I think still having the ability to shoot, maybe you only have so many rounds. You don't have, you couldn't do it with every weapon. You can only do it with certain weapons. I can understand that. But I think that would be interesting. Like I said, just a suggestion. Not saying that the devs need to do this. All right, number 3, stronger anti-exploit measures. Now, I put this in here because I saw an article. I don't know. This is speculative. Let me just put rumor. I don't know. I don't know it to be true. But there was a thing where Nvidia said they had to disable some type of filter players were using our arc raiders and giving them an unfair advantage. There's some other things with some cheats going around the game. Anytime you got a popular game, especially if it has anything with shooter elements in it, you're gonna have to make sure the anti-cheat shit is up there. Call of Duty, Battlefield, every other shooter deals with cheaters. It's always a good suggestion, and that's why I have it here, to make sure your anti-cheat shit is always top tier and you're always on the lookout. And you can't always depend on like people like Nvidia. And I'm not even sure I think it was Nvidia that posted it. But you always have to, you cannot depend on other people making anti-cheat shits or taking down the capabilities of cheats. You, as the game maker, need to make sure you have things in place to protect the integrity of the game, especially when it's P versus P. Third suggestion. All right, 4th. This is not saying that because I've already made YouTube shorts and all that. I'll tag that and shit. I don't believe that there should be a P versus E, player versus environment only mode. I do not believe that. I think it will hurt the game in the excitement. Having a P versus P kind of battle royale in some of the maps, like the maps that we have available, I could see being a thing. And because some people only play the game, fuck up other players. So if you had a mode, now I'm not saying make a mode for players versus environment. I'm saying having a mode where players versus player is the main objective, and you still have arcs going around, but it's really like squad on squad type of. So it really intensifies this, and maybe you make the maps smaller, and so therefore you run into each other more, and then you still have arcs as another element too. And whatever squad wins gets the loot at the end. I can see that being a really, really good mode for arc raiders. Now, some people was gonna be like, that's not the essence of the game. It has to be player versus I get that. I understand that. This is just a suggestion. I could see it being a really fun mode. Is my thing. Player versus player, really team versus team. Let me say that. Team versus squad. You match make with 2 other people. You go up against maybe, I don't know, 4 squads, 5 squads, and y'all all fight it out. You bring your good shit in. But would you still lose your loot? I don't know. That's something the devs could think of. I think squad versus squad modes could be very interesting in Arc Raiders. All right, that was suggestion number 4. My last suggestion, this is kind of a feedback from everything I've seen. Players are hating the wipe, or let me say the prestige reset. Context. I don't really like prestige wipes. I've made that very known in my Space Marines little video, and I got a lot of I got killed in the comments for saying, you just don't know. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm like, dude, I put over 100 hours. The shit don't feel good. It's not a good experience. It's grimy. Now, I haven't done this prestige mode. I'm nowhere near the level to do the prestige, and I hit level 20, and I still feel like I'm still learning the game. So I haven't personally done this prestige reset, but a lot of times, like I said, I matchmake a lot, and I hear people, because they was like, bruh, it's one thing to wipe me back to 0 for skill points, but it's a whole nother thing to then make me fucking redo the trader's quest. And I thought that was crazy. I was like, wait, you have to redo the trader's quest when you prestige? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't really get the essence of that. That's kind of stupid. But a lot of players are saying they want them to rework the prestige mode. You would say, hey, you need to be able to reset to 0 on all aspects because you're gaining 5 skill points if you got 5,000,000. But I don't know, it does seem overly grindy. And you can say, "Hey, but at that point, you're so good at the game, even when you're playing with less value weapons and shit, you should get it back quickly." But who got time for that? So, I mean, a lot of people that play this game got jobs and school and other obligations. Like, that's kinda listen, anytime you wipe a mofo back to 0, it is a tall task to then tell them mofos to do it all over again. And I feel them. And I haven't even done it, and I'm nowhere close to doing it, but, that's just my fifth suggestion, and that's my last suggestion. Maybe they can tweak the prestige or balance it better, or maybe get, just like I said with Space Marine, give me a payoff from doing it. I don't know, but like I said, I'm gonna keep emphasizing these are just suggestions. I'm not telling the devs to do anything because as Arc Raiders stands right now, I have a lot of fucking fun with the game. I have a lot of fun. That's with the good and that's with the bad. Even with the bad shit, I've stated multiple times. I ran into people saying they friendly. Motherfuckers was not friendly and they off me. I haven't been. Oh no, I have been ambushed at an extract point, but it wasn't with people that said they were friendly. They were kind of, once they saw me, they was always hostile. And one time, little side note, I remember I was playing with this guy. He didn't really know what he was doing, so anytime I play with people that don't know what they're doing, I'm kind of get in, get out. We filled my free loadout. He got enough shit. And I was like, let's go to the exit. We went to the exit. I saw somebody in front of me. I was like, hey, you friendly? And he was like, he hit the don't shoot. I was like, cool. So, but when we got in the hatch, it was like 6 other people getting in. I was like, where the fuck? And the guy got on. He was like, yeah, I was behind you the whole time. You didn't even hear me. I was like, damn, bruh. You could have got me. I'm glad you a stand up guy. He was like, yeah, ain't gonna lie. It crossed my mind just because. I was like, yo, I don't even really got that much value shit. So it would have just been for nothing. You probably wouldn't like none of the shit I picked up. But it's just funny. Hey, them are the type real experience that you have with Arc Raiders. But yeah, them were my 5 suggestions. But as it is, even if Arc Raiders doesn't change anything in 2026, I think it has a good foundation. And anything they do could just improve on it. And I'm not telling the devs what to do. I'm not telling them because I've stated on this in past ARC videos, just because people ask for something doesn't mean that's what's best for them or the game. These are just suggestions. But I think it could be for the better. But, that's just how I feel. Let us know in the comments below what suggestions you have for Arc Raiders. Do you think they can still make things that are better quality of life for the players?
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?